Welcome back, Swag Team. It's your boy, the Swagologist, back again with another SwagU review, and today we are doing The Last Dance episodes 3 and 4, and they did not disappoint once again. Today, they showed more about Dennis Rodman and about Phil Jackson, and I'm really enjoying the series so far. It is really good. If y'all haven't checked it out, y'all must go check it out. It is really great, especially for hoopers, especially for basketball players, especially for NBA fans, especially for Michael Jordan fans, Bulls fans, whatever you are a fan of relating to basketball or any of that nature, you will love this. People that like dramas will enjoy this. It's really good for any and everyone, honestly. So if you haven't checked it out, please try and do so. It comes on ESPN every Sunday as of right now. So if you haven't checked it out, you should probably try to. And it's on ESPN streaming. So if you want to be able to check it out there, you can. But anyways, I'm really enjoying the series. This episodes 3 and 4 were mostly centered around Dennis Rodman and then Phil Jackson. I love the little nuggets I get to learn throughout, and of course they still have the through thread, or the main focus on Jordan and learning more about him and his struggles during the 98-97 season, and then the struggles of the Bulls themselves and the drama between the organization and Krause, well, the organization and its players, or however you want to take it from that matter. But I'm loving what's going on. Dennis Rodman is such an interesting person, man. Like, when he came into the league, he was like the most innocent, sweet person that you could meet, and then he just changed over time. When Demolition Man came out, he changed his hair, and then he met Madonna, and then Madonna told him to be his own person, be free spirited, and then that's when he started just being free and being his own person and just doing whatever he wanted. And I actually admire that a lot. Another thing that I think is really cool about Dennis Rodman is that, yes, we know he's a great rebounder, but the reason he's a great rebounder because he tried to master it, and he did master it, but he mastered it on a level that I never thought about when I'm thinking about rebounding. I mean, I think about the ball's trajectory coming off the rim and where it would come when I see somebody shoot, but he be also thinking about the spiral of the ball of someone's shot, like he's like Larry Bird when he shoots, it has a spiral on it. But when Magic Johnson shoots, it may or may not have a spiral. When Jordan shoots here, it'll come off here. If Jordan shoots right there, I need to be here and this and that. And when it comes off of this rim, I got to be here and be like this. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, that is really cool that he like dives into that. And I was just so intrigued and so interested when he was talking about that during the series. I was like, man, that is incredible. I never would have thought of thinking like that, you know. And he grew up in a harsh environment, but like I said, he came in so pure and so, innocent, naive to the world, really, because he never really got out much. All he did was play basketball growing up. Even though people was smoking around him, doing drugs, he never got into drugs or anything like that growing up. And thank God he found basketball and got into the league or whatever. And another thing about Dennis, he's like one of the greatest on-ball defenders. I didn't really know that. I knew he had to have had some kind of good defensive skill, but I didn't know he was one of the greatest defensive on-ball defenders of all time. And he definitely was. I mean, they showed a lot of his skills that I didn't really notice too much because, my first introduction to Dennis Rodman was on the Bulls, but I mean, he also played for Bad Boy Pistons, of course, and that was the segue into learning about the Bad Boy Pistons, and this is like the Michael through thread, throughout the series, of course. But we got to learn more about them because of Dennis Rodman's involvement with that team and how he helped the Bad Boy Pistons get their 2 championships, and then he also helped the Bulls get their 3, and then 3-peat. So I think that is really cool that that transpired. I think he was only on the 3-peat. I don't think he was part of the first 3. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below. I'm not totally sure on that. I know for sure he helped with the last 3 championships, for sure. It was great to learn more about Dennis and the fact that him and Phil Jackson connected through Indian culture and Native American culture, because when Phil Jackson was growing up in Montana, he learned a lot more about Indians and Indian culture because of the house he was brought up in. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a boarding house, and he learned more about them through that. So I thought that was interesting. But then that's his connection with Dennis Rodman, because Dennis Rodman likes the Native American culture and got into it. So that's why he was able to control, not necessarily control, but learn how to involve Dennis to where he doesn't feel like he's out of place, with the team. And growing up with two pastors, his mom and dad were both pastors, and also with that Native American families being around him all the time, he learned how to incorporate that into his teachings and coaching of these different, you know, egos and mindsets. He managed how to keep those egos and stuff together on those teams because we got Jordan, we got Scotty, we got Dennis Rodman, then we got all the others. And through his growing up and teachings and being in the NBA as a player, I think he won a championship with the Knicks. I know he went to the finals 3 times with the Knicks. And coaching over there in that crazy brutal environment, and then learning how to, because he ended up coaching first somewhere in Puerto Rico, I believe it was. That's what they said in the show, Puerto Rico. And it's crazy over there where they would kill animals and leave the blood on the other people's benches and stuff. Like, it was just ridiculous, right? And from him learning that stuff, and just mostly his upbringing with his parents is what intrigued me the most about Phil, because I'm learning more and more why Phil was such a great coach. But another thing that blew my mind, though, that I had no idea of knowing, is that Phil Jackson did not originate the triangle offense, when in actuality the person that originated the triangle offense was named Tex Winter. Now, Tex Winter ended up coaching in college for like 30 years before he even got into the NBA as an assistant coach. And he was an assistant coach for the Bulls, and he was always trying to teach the triangle offense. But head coach Doug Collins at the time, who took over for Allback, didn't want to hear that. He was trying to give Jordan the ball, and let him score, and set up plays for Jordan to score. It's kind of similar to the way the James Harden offenses ran. Not saying that he's trying to gain fouls or get in foul trouble or anything like that, but there's a whole lot of ISO play, and that is causing Jordan to get high numbers in scoring championships, but he's not getting MVPs in the NBA championship. So he was trying to explain to Doug that you can run this team a different way, but he's not feeling it. So when Phil Jackson comes in, he's just eating all this, getting all these tasty little morsels from you, boy, getting all these little nuggets from Tex, and learning under Tex Winter and becoming, the master. Kind of like with Dave, like my Star Wars fans out there, kind of like how Dave Filoni is learning from the great, George Lucas, and gaining all that information, and then making great Star Wars content like your Star Wars The Clone Wars, your Star Wars Rebels, and The Mandalorian, on Disney Plus. So that's exactly how it is. And Star Wars fans, y'all understand. But if not, if you're not a Star Wars fan, just know the master is teaching their student, and the student is just gaining all the information and then making it even better. And Jerry Krause, who had hired Tex because he thought Tex was the most brilliantest, like the greatest basketball mind he's ever met, and saw that he was teaching all his teachings to Phil Jackson, and Phil Jackson was gobbling it up and learning it, he realized that he needed to make a change, and needed to make a change soon if they was ever going to beat the Bad Boy Pistons and move on to the next round. So he made the change, even though they went to the Eastern Conference Finals with Doug. And Michael Jordan wasn't feeling it at first, because that offense conduces of him taking the ball out of his hands and putting it in the hands of maybe like a Bill Cartwright in the last 5 seconds of the clock. And he's like, no, that's BS, man. I'm not dealing with that. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He's not feeling it at all. He wasn't driving with it. But he ended up over time realizing that that's a better thing to do. And I also found out that it was awesome to learn that Phil Jackson made Jordan better. Like, Jordan was already great, but with the triangle offense and teaching them that you can trust your teammates, they will score for you if you put them in the right position, that he made Jordan better. Now, I'm not saying Jordan needed Phil Jackson to win a championship, but it definitely did help, for sure. And I think he might not have won one without Phil. But I'm loving this series for sure. I'm loving that. I love that they put emphasis on how good the Pistons were, because sometimes we don't really think about the Pistons as a great team. We know they were good. We don't think of them as a great team. We just think of them as a team that beat up people. But I mean, they won 2 back-to-back championships. Was going for the three-peat till Jordan and them figured out what to do, muscled up, because that's something they did in this episode 4, is muscled up and got bigger and just turned it up that season. That season they was not being denied regardless, because it hurt so bad to lost the season before when Scottie Pippen had a headache in Game 7, and that could have beat them, but they just couldn't overcome. And Scottie Pippen sadly had a super migraine, and it was ridiculous to where he couldn't even see. And I know some of y'all ladies and some of y'all men maybe have experienced this and know what I'm talking about. But it was like, dang, man, that sucks. So they muscled up, went in there, took care of business. But we learned about the Pistons, but we also learned about the Cavs. And one of the funniest things in the series that happened with the Cavs was they was talking about how on that final shot, that shot where you see Jordan jump up and down, he's like, you know what I'm saying? I always loved that and I always remember it, but I did not realize he was saying something in there, but we'll get to that in just a second. That game was against the Cavs to go to the next seed and go against the Pistons, the bad boys, in '89. And what happened was Doug had set the play for Jordan to get the ball, of course, on the inbound, take one dribble or two, and get the shot up and score. And he had to set up to do that for the inbounds play. Now, Jordan and Ron Harper both said that Ron Harper should have been guarding Jordan because Ron Harper can guard him better. But the coach for the Cavs was like, I'm gonna put Elo, I forgot his last name, and I'm maybe saying his first name wrong, but I put his name down here at the bottom. Elo George, I think it was. But anyways, either way, it wasn't the right guy. It should have been Ron Harper. Ron Harper was like, hey, coach, I got Jordan. I got MJ. Let me get him. I got him. And coach was like, nah, we're going to put Elo on him. And he was like, hit him with that, hit him with that Waka Flocka Flame meme. He was like, yeah, all right. Okay. Look at this bullshit here. Which was so funny to me because I was like, man, this is gonna be hilarious. And then sure enough, it was, because the next day Jordan's like fighting to get loose. He's like, cuts it aside, takes the 2 dribbles, hits the shot, bang! And it's like, now the thing that I did not know that was really cool to learn is that in the mist, everybody sees him doing this, right? Right, but we didn't realize he was speaking. Like you saw me speaking a little bit just now, and if you could have read it, what happened was someone had said that they're gonna send the Bulls home in that game. That they're gonna send them home, go ahead and take send them home, take them home. Some Cavs, writer said that send them home, send the Bulls home. They're not gonna win. Go ahead and send them back home, get them out of here, right? So when Jordan takes those 2 dribbles, hits that shot, starts jumping up and down, he's like, "Go motherfuckers home, go motherfucking home!" I was like, "Yo, that is lit." I love Jordan because if he found out you talking some shit, he gonna make sure you get that shit sent right back to your ass when he take care of your business, boy. When he take care of business, he gonna make sure he take care of you with that business he's taking care of, man. And I love it, man. I love it because he just backs it up, and it just makes Jordan who he is. You know what I mean? So that's what my takeaway for episodes 3 and 4. I had a good time with those. I can't wait for episodes 5 and 6. I'm hearing a little birdies telling me that Kobe's going to be in the next episode, and I'm not ready at all. I may tear up. I'm not sure, but I am excited that they're going to be talking about the Dream Team, the USA team. I wonder if they're going to say that Isaiah got snuffed because we just got finished beating down on Isaiah in episode 4. In episode 4, a little bit with his character and stuff because they decided not to shake hands. And let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the Pistons not shaking the Bulls' hands after winning that game. Do they meant to do that on purpose to be assholes, or do you think they just actually felt that that's just the way the NBA was at the time, and you're not supposed to, when you're the champion, you get beat, you're just supposed to walk off the floor? I think they was really trying to, give them one little last jab. Since y'all beat us, we're gonna get y'all with a little jab. You know what I'm saying? And still show y'all what's really good. But let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know your favorite part in episodes 3 and 4. Like mine was the Ron Harper doing the Waka Flocka Flame meme thing. Like, okay, dumb as hell for letting that dude take my position, but all right. And then the whole thing about Phil Jackson, both learning about him and his growing up, and learning about how he helped Mike in that final game to win the championship in 1991. At least their final game, because I mean they only go to Game 6 and nothing lower, nothing higher than that. Nothing further. And passing it to John Paxson, letting them hit those shots instead of having to get double teamed and then possibly going to another game. You know what I mean? Who knows what happened? But I love that. Let me know what your favorite part was in the comment section below. Also, if you're new here and you're trying to join the swag team, make sure you hit that button when it pops up right here, or hit the subscribe button down below. Also, if you want to be the first swag team to see a video when it pops up on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell. It'll pop up right when you subscribe and join the swag team. So make sure you do that so you don't miss out on any of the swag when it drops, whether it's on your computer, tablet, or a cell phone, whatever. It'll pop right up on your notification bar, so make sure you do that so you don't miss on any swag. Let me know in the comment section below and on the social media sites how you feel about the episodes so far, 3 and 4. Are you excited about 5 and 6? I definitely am. Can't wait till Sunday. And let me know how you feel about the series, all on those things that I just mentioned. And until the next video, I love y'all 3000. I'll holla. Peace.